The winner of the last giveaway is the mighty Choral 555. I'm gonna be giving away another 1-hour free lesson, and for this you're gonna have to subscribe, like and comment on this video. Yo guys, this is Reinhardt, this is your favorite Russian talking, and today we're gonna be doing a guide about affliction guides. And this guide is gonna be out of the box because probably not many people thought of using the affliction locks the way I use them in RBGs, and it's actually pretty damn amazing. So let's get started right away. So in this guide we're gonna be talking first of all about the affliction lock, where do we fit in, why are we viable, and future of affliction locks in RBGs. As affliction lock you are gonna be tryharding a lot to get into good RBG groups, but it actually is possible. A good affliction lock will destroy the enemy teams, but our playstyle is actually gonna be changed completely differently compared to that of a playstyle in Cataclysm. The second step of this guide is going to be about maximizing your damage, proper spec, proper playstyle, and the tricks and environment advantages that you can actually utilize to become an exceptional affliction warlock in RBGs. I tried multiple ways on a different battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, different ways of actually specking and prioritizing damage, and after I would say about like 30-40 different RBGs, about 21, 22, 2300 plus CR, I was actually managed to get a great things and a great results out of my affliction warlock this season. And of course, last but not least, we're gonna be talking about maximizing your usefulness. Gonna talk about how to maximize your crowd control or in your proper environment. We're gonna talk about the node defending and actually how to properly defend yourself and your pet at the same time. Now there's gonna be a lot of information thrown right at you guys, so don't get despaired and think about it this way. This is probably the most fun educational shit that you can do and actually enjoy at the same time, so stay tuned. This is gonna be a long ass video, but you're gonna fucking love it. So the about affliction lock, first of all, you will never ever replace Destro locks. Chaos Bolt is too strong, my friends. So if there's only one lock on the team, odds are he should be going Destro. But you can replace Shadow Priest, but in that you will need to spread shit tons of aids, fear a lot, and coat everything in UA, so your team will actually gonna have a really good dot protection. Shadow Priest bring a lot of heals, good upfront, I would say damage, like good semi-good burst damage, and a good amount of CCs. But as affliction lock, if you can actually out CC them, out damage them, then you will be more useful than a Shadow Priest. In Cataclysm, the dominant RBGs were actually dot clears, and affliction locks were needed not as much for their CC or fears, but they were actually very needed for their UA dot protection that protected Boomkins, Fire Mage, and Shadow Priest dots. It was all about just a humongous dot pressure damage with some PvE trinkets at the same time. And MOP, the scale of the healing is actually got relatively increased, and healing through dots is actually a lot easier. So in this case I had actually a different playstyle for affliction locks for RBGs. Since it's a lot easier to dot as affliction warlock, our priority goes through actually instead of coding everything in UA, you have to do that, but your priority is gonna be CC. The biggest strength of affliction lock is actually fearing the healers that are caught with the UA, while your team is training the other healer that is more vulnerable. Imagine your healer that you're training will not dispel the UA, so the other healer will dispel UA, and if he dispels UA, he's gonna be silenced for 4 seconds. That means that if you fear your own healer with UA again, you can basically control 2 healers at the same time by yourself while your team is training the crap out of the squishiest healer possible. That's in my opinion role of affliction locks in rated battlegrounds for Mists of Pandaria. Now that brings us to a new point. How to maximize your afflictions lock damage. So first of all, we're gonna go over your spec. There's a new spec that you're actually gonna have to do. There's a sneaky DPS increase glyph that is absolutely amazing, but nobody's been using it in PvP so far from what I've seen. There's a new way of complementing your playstyle of putting a lot of UAs, putting a lot of CC there, and secrets, but more likely a common sense, and you will see how freaking amazing it is actually. And for my favorite potatoes, we're also gonna show about the rotation, the basic knowledge and rotation of affliction locks when it comes to maximizing your damage. Last but not least, we're gonna touch base with the soul shards. The soul shards are amazing, and the thing is, a lot of people are actually not utilizing the mechanics of getting the soul shards as much as they possibly can. And I'm talking about the proper and smart ways of drain soloing at specific targets to maximize your intake for the soul shards. So let's get started. So first of all, let's talk about the rotation here really quickly. The main thing here is actually not just a bunch of soul swaps, soul burn, soul swaps. No, it's actually soul burn, Seed of Corruption. It's actually pretty damn amazing because it does spread a lot of corruptions out there on the other targets. Now that's one of the biggest benefits. The only thing I'm gonna say about just UA Seed of Corruption, use it if there's a lot of people next to each other clocked up. Especially one of the most useful ways of using it is when they are actually grid beamed at the same time, and it's actually pretty nice damage, and it also kind of opens up one extra global for you just to actually cast UA / Agony. Now that is the whole rotation, my friends. That's one nitpick. The only thing else I'm gonna say is I'm gonna go for the Kill Jennings cutting, not Mana Rod Fury, and I'm gonna explain you very soon in details why. So for the spec, first of all, Dark Regeneration is probably the best talent, although in 5.3 I'm projecting Harvest of Life would be a viable option because it will be affected by the Glyph of Drain Life, and it actually provides a really good half to healing. Then it's a Hall of Terror. My personal preference is Hall of Terror for the CC because I like fearing a lot, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be spreading shit tons of fears. And not many people train Affliction Lag, but when they're getting trained, the extra reduced cooldown is better. Sacrificial Pact is bottom line amazing. Since we're gonna be using our pets a lot, I think Sacrificial Pact is a very good solid choice for your Warlock. The only problem becomes when your pet becomes cleaved down to death. But even then, without a pet, it's still actually worth sacrificing 25% of your HP while getting 100% of your HP bubble. Pretty freaking amazing. And the next one is gonna be Unbound Will, not a Blood Horror, not a Burning Rush. Unbound Will is gonna be amazing because some people are gonna be CCing you, and of course extra CC is really good. 20% of the health, it does cost a lot, but guess what, my friends, there's a lot of healing. You're gonna catch up on healing in no time. And then we're gonna go for the Grimoire of Supremacy and Kill Jennings cutting. Now in my previous RBG Affliction Lag Pressure Master, I went for the Mana Rod Fury for one main particular reason, is because Soul Burn, Curse of Enfeeblement, and also Soul Burn actually Seed of Corruption. But now I actually changed my playstyle because they nerfed Mana Rod Fury a little bit, and I decided that Kill Jennings Cuttings is actually gonna be a a much more solid choice for us. So I decided to go with that. Now for the glyphs, this is where the cookie crumbles. This is the main secret. The first of all is Glyph of UA, and it's a must to have. The other one, you can have a Glyph of Demon Training, and I'm gonna explain you in a little bit. Glyph of Demonic Circle is very nice option. Drain Life, Hellstone, whatever the fuck it is. Siphon Life is actually pretty decent too when it comes to actually sustain healing. Soul Swap if you're not too lazy with it, but those are just the optional. The other mandatory glyph for RBGs to have is gonna be Glyph of Everlasting Affliction. What does the glyph do? And it's fucking amazing. It actually decreases your dot damage by 20%, but it actually increases the duration of all your dots by 50%. Yo guys, this is your favorite nerd talking, and we're gonna do some damage comparison right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply my full UA dots here without the glyph of Everlasting Affliction, and we're gonna see the total damage done based off the recount. Ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go. No damage procs, nothing, just a pure dot damage without any procs or anything maximizing at all whatsoever. And let's fast forward this shit. So my full set of 8s did approximately 257k damage, and that's without the Glyph of Everlasting Affliction. And now let's check out the same thing but with the Glyph of Everlasting Affliction, and of course we're gonna fast forward this shit as well. Okay, so they are about to finish ticking, and let's look at the screenshot of the full 8 damage. So with this glyph, our full array of dots did approximately 339k damage. Now my friends, let's have some basic mathematics here. The Ace did about 81,000 extra damage with the glyph. If we divide that over 257k, we're gonna get about 32% increase in damage. So even though it actually makes our dots tick a lot less by 20%, it does more damage overall because it adds 50% extra duration to it. So with a new glyph, basically your whole entire playstyle changes. Because your dots last a lot longer, 50% longer, what you can do is you can actually focus more on crowd controlling, spamming those spheres. And that is, in my opinion, a new meta for affliction locks in RBGs. Basically, yes, you have a lot of dots, but not the dot damage that matters a lot, but it actual fearing, a lot of fears. I get up to like 39 castable fears. Like, I haven't seen a single lock who would actually do 39 fears, cast 39 fears in one rated battleground. Now let's talk a little bit about your soul shards. First of all, the more soul shards you have, the better is your damage. The more pressure you have, the more utilities you have at the same time. So what are the sneaky ways of getting your soul shards? The first one is, I would say the main important thing is, and I'm gonna emphasize it really quickly, use your drain soul all the time, but don't use it to kill the players, use it to kill the pets, use it to kill illusions. You know, dark apparitions, the walking, the dark apparition that Shadow Priest drops, they have 5 HP, and if you start drain souling them, and as soon as they hit their target for like 2k damage, guess what, you're gonna have full shards. And the same thing goes for the Psyfin, the pet that stands there and spams fears. Well, guess what, the pet lasts 10 seconds. If at the last 2 or 3 seconds you start drain souling it, even if you don't kill it, as soon as it disappears, you get the full shards. It's freaking amazing. Now, to wrap this up, we're gonna talk about two things: the CC, to maximize your usefulness, what kind of proper CCs you should be doing, and node defending, how you can actually properly defend the nodes, and what pets are the best. Now, when it comes to maximizing your CCs, first of all, you have to cast shit tons of fears, lots of fears. 15 is a minimum of the fears you have to cast, 25 to 35 average. The more fears you cast, the better your team becomes offensive. You are no longer the single target damage killer, you are the kill setupper, and you have to be playing accordingly to that. If you use your drain soul correctly, and with the new playstyle that I showed you, soul burn, curse of enfeeblement should be on the enemies all the time. Basically, you're gonna slow down their casts, their CCs, the warlock's damage, the Destro warlock's damage, and it's actually gonna add up a lot of defensive capability towards your team, and you will put out so much pressure, your team will put out so much pressure. And then again, this is one of the useful ways of actually using your affliction locks. And guess what happens during that time? Your entire team will be dominating on the extra pressure, and you should be tapping damage while doing that at the same time. When it comes to using pets, actually, believe it or not, but Succubus, in my opinion, is the best pet. Why? Because it's mesmerized. You can actually glyph for mesmerize to remove the dots. But I'm not even using that. The best part about Succubus is that it auto casts shit tons of CCs, and it actually picks a target that does not have a lot of dots on them. I swear to God, sometimes I would get a full mesmerize on the enemy healers, the ones that I'm actually not supposed to be, wasn't doing anything at all. Like in this I'm gonna show you the video right after I'm done talking. And the last but not least, use Succubus's knockbacks. They're actually pretty amazing, and you have to swapping pets from time to time as well. Maybe swap to a freaking your octopus looking shit to get extra spell locks. But in my opinion, Spawnball CC pet is actually kind of a bit stronger than actually 3 seconds silence or 6 seconds. It's actually a really good example of the Succubus. I didn't do a jack shit for this one. I didn't control it as much as I should have, but I just let my pet free cast, and you guys gonna see what it's gonna do. Okay, so basically I'm applying a shit tons of aids right now. At this point in time, I'm not popping all my offensive cooldowns because they're not a full team. I decided not to blow it up. Now my bitch got feared in the back, and look what it did. It actually mesmerized one pet, it got interrupted. Now it mesmerized the enemy shaman. The shaman is mesmerized for the full duration. This is the seed that I didn't had to work at all for. And then it mesmerized the shaman again, and it actually broke out because of my own dots. So thinking of actually picking the glyph that removes the dots when your pet starts mesmerizing. And this is the reason why I actually like this bitch. She mesmerizes the targets that do not have dots automatically. It actually has a very smart artificial intelligence built into it. For the maps where you actually know that you have a chance of defending the nodes, you know what? Drop your Grim of Supremacy and go for the Grim of Sacrifice, and with the Voidwalker you can properly make it so that you're gonna survive for a long time. This is the following step. You have Voidwalker, you sacrifice in a critical moment, you use the Voidwalker's ability that's gonna give you extra HP, then you sacrifice Pact during that time, and then you soul burn or summon either Succubus or a Fel Hunter or even the Voidwalker back. Most of the time better is sacrifice a Fell Hunter or a Succubus and get some extra CC on the team. If done correctly, you will not die for at least about 30 seconds, even with a 2 DPS wailing on you. This is a cool nifty trick. So let's say you're starting a fight and you're gonna disarm the opponent because disarm is freaking amazing for your Voidwalker. But let's put it this way, let's see if you need to pop defenses or preemptively defend yourself because 2 or 3 people are gonna get assaulting your base. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna basically sacrifice your Voidwalker, and while sacrificing the Voidwalker, he gives you ability that basically increases your maximum HP levels by 30%. So you sacrificing your Voidwalker, you using that ability, and you give yourself extra 30% HP. During that time, you're gonna use a sacrificial pact. Yes, you're gonna use some of your own HP to use a sacrificial pact, and your shield is gonna be 600k. 600k shield. But once the Voidwalker HP buffer is gone, guess what's gonna happen? You actually not gonna lose as much HP as you sacrifice it in terms of percentages, and you will have a 600k shield for roughly about 20 seconds, and after that you can already start using your other cooldowns like Dark Regeneration, Hellstone, your Aura Mastery, and you will resummon your pet using one of your Soul Burns and basically control them or lock them out via Succubus or Observer. This nifty awesome trick can actually also be used in arenas when the, let's say, Thug Cliff or some other big high damage cliffs opening up, using all the defenses, all their offenses on you. Guess what? A 600k bubble will save your ass. And I need to play around with it in 3v3, but I think you can still use it in 3v3. If you can actually use it, let me know what you think. Well, that's it, my friends, for the Affliction Lock RBG guides. I got to 20 to 50 this season in RBGs because utilizing that specific playstyle, and my partners actually thought I was not a liability. Yay! Thanks a lot for watching this video. Appreciate all of you coming in, messaging me, and supporting my channel and my path of gaming and some shit like that. Thanks a lot again for watching, and answer this question. On a scale on 1 to 10, after watching this video and you're playing Affliction Lock, how much you fucking love me?